I am hanging out with Josh and Ozone of the Canadian punk band Trashed Ambulance. How are you guys?
I'm doing
Good.
great. How are you?
It's wonderful. I'm about 5 beers deep since I got home from work. Uh,
This is my third
here you go. Oh, what do you got?
Sea Change Man Crush.
Oh,
Everything's
what
all
is
weird here.
that?
It's a Edmonton, Alberta brewery. And
Okay.
we've made it at our brewery that I work for. So we make other beer for people. So
Oh shit, you work at a brewery?
I do, yeah. And
Oh, this is
oh,
perfect.
I sell the beer. I
I-
don't actually work at the brewery. I go out around and sell the beer. But they had a big pile of them today, and they're like, "Hey, you need some holiday beer?" And they had like huge stacks. Like, help yourself. I was like, "Serious?" It's like all the beers that we made for other people and ours, and it's like, hell yeah, I'll take those. So here I am.
awesome.
Happy Friday.
Here's to you, sir. Ozone, how's it going?
Good. Cold. It's a nice uh 25 Fahrenheit day here today. Negative 30 Celsius. It's beautiful.
Jesus. So I admittedly I'm in upstate New York. I think it was, I don't know, maybe it was around 40-ish today, in the low 40s. But I admittedly, yeah, probably don't know a lot about Canada. So if this just is me drunk for an hour asking you about Canada, I apologize. Because I can't rule out that's not going to happen.
It's a big country.
But so you guys are from Red Deer, right? And that is, I looked at a map. Is that like right in between Calgary and Edmonton?
Bang
Is
on, man. You
that's
nailed
what it
it.
looked like.
Pretty much.
Yeah, those are the two main centers of Alberta, and we're right in the middle. And we have
So,
about a tenth of the population of both of them.
do you really?
There's about 100,000 people here in Red Deer, and give or take a million in each of those cities. So yeah, we're just little guys on the way.
Interesting. Yeah, my only experience with Canada is going to Montreal, I think twice. I went once as a kid, and I'm dating myself with this. The Montreal Expos were a thing.
Nice. I went to an Expos
Uh,
game.
so I went to an Expos game as a kid on like a group trip. And then a number of years ago, I went for a bachelor party for one of my buddies. And that was a great time.
Did you go to Super Sex strip club?
No, I avoided the strip clubs in Montreal.
What kind of bachelor party was that then?
What I'm not saying the other. There was 12 of us. I think eight people went to the strip club. What did we do? Well, like it was fun. We stayed. Actually, I got a taste of the Canadian hockey experience because we were staying right next to where the Montreal plays, the Canadians, and I think the Bruins were in town.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
So things were getting a little rowdy in the restaurant when we were trying to eat.
I believe it, man.
That was fun. And then yeah, we hit a lot of bars. We did paintball and go-karting. There was this indoor paintball go-kart place over that way. That was super fun.
In the same building.
Yeah, it was yeah, all in the
Oh,
same building. I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't far from the Olympic site over that way.
that sounds like quite the mix, though.
Really does. And I remember as I was coming home and they were asking me in customs if I was bringing anything home. I had, of course, a Cuban cigar stashed away somewhere, but I'm just bruises from paintball. I'm like,
Just really got after it.
but so Josh, you do guitar and vocals. Ozone, you are bass and vocals, right? And of course,
Yep.
Riley, the drummer, couldn't make it tonight. Shout out to him.
He's working. What a loser.
Wow, what a loser. But I admittedly only came across Trashed Ambulance maybe a month ago or so. Not long after your new album, Future Considerations, came out. And there was one day where I was at work and I've been following the Thousand Islands record label for a few months on just like their social medias, mainly because I live in upstate New York. I'm from upstate New York. My family likes to vacation in the Thousand Islands area. For us, that means drive to Syracuse and go north till we hit the river. So it's hold on. I assume here's
Yeah, I'm
Riley.
not a loser. All right. If he
Okay.
says so.
I don't know you guys, so I got to take your word for it. I just
That was Riley, the drummer.
yes.
He is not a loser, but it's,
But
amazing.
so I'm familiar with the Thousand Islands area on the American side. Where we would go for vacation was kind of across the river from the Kingston, Ontario area of if we were just to go directly across. But and Montreal, I think maybe like a 4-ish hour drive from Albany, where I live.
All right.
So
That's where
I
steamed
think,
hams are from.
well, who is it?
It was the Simpsons reference.
Oh no, yeah, no. The Simpsons make a lot of references to Albany. There's some to, if you want to get more specific, the town I live in is called Schenectady. I
That's
don't
not
know.
right. There's no
Uh,
way.
yeah. Uh, have you ever seen the cartoon Archer on FX?
Yeah.
They
First
make
couple.
they make a Schenectady reference.
Schenectady.
Mallory Archer makes a Schenectady reference about sending like some troop, some Cub Scout troop or something to Schenectady.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a fun word to say. I'm not even going to attempt it though.
No, if you don't live here, I found that people can't pronounce it.
No. I'm confused already.
There you go. But I came across the Thousand Islands record label. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I didn't know there was a record label named after like a childhood place I went for vacation and still love to go. And then after a few months, I was following the record label on the social medias, and then one day at work, I'm like, I just started flipping through all the bands because I was looking for new stuff to listen to. And first, I hit Charlie Bit My Finger with their
Nice.
new album, which I've been listening to almost nonstop. The new Sick Waiting. Is it Sick Waiting? I assume it's Sick Waiting.
I think so. I've never actually heard it said out loud though.
And then I came across you guys, Trashed Ambulance. I'm like, first off, the name jumped out at me, and just the album cover. I'm like, what is going on here?
Awesome.
But I'm like, this is cool because it's a record label literally named after a place I love to go, and it's all bands that are playing like skate punk music, the shit that I got into when I was young, and kind of really opened me up to going and looking and exploring music and stuff like that. And then I heard your album and I was hooked right on the first song, 56. Right after I was done laughing at the opening line there, I'm going to practice my stabbing.
Good old Roberto from Futurama.
Is that, oh, Futurama? Okay, I was trying to place it. I'm like, I almost feel like it was an American Dad quote, or if it was Roger for that.
Creepy robot. He's like,
okay, now that you say that, yep, all right. Oh, I can't believe I didn't know that sooner.
And that's why I named it 56, is because that same character has a line where he goes, 56? That's all I can think about. Great episode. It's when Fry gets thrown in a robot insane asylum. If you haven't seen it, it's friggin' hilarious. So.
Oh, that is, yeah, I've seen all those.
It's original run. That's all I'm familiar with. I didn't watch the later ones. It's on my to-do list.
Well, that's right. They did bring it back for like a season or two.
You brought it back like 5 different times.
A number of times, yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of times on a bunch of different networks. But I like the original one.
Yeah. I'm also going to assume you guys are hockey fans, not just because you're Canadian, but because of the album cover.
Yeah, we cheer for different teams. Well, Ozone and Riley cheer for the same team. So
I've heard you're a Sens fan.
Yeah, we're playing the Rangers right now.
Yeah, and you guys are, last I checked, down. Oh wait, no, oh shit, it's tied. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, Claude Giroux.
Ozone, what's your team then?
I like the Leafs. Trouble.
Oh, you're a Leafs fan?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're perfectly happy until playoffs come along? Is that what it is?
Yes. This is the first year of my life that I'm not even paying attention to it, but I'm not actually watching the games this year. I'm like, you know what? I'm so sick of good regular seasons. I'll wait till playoffs and but I still check the scores.
No, as you can, well, if I move my head, you can see there's a Rangers banner up on the wall, right there. It's far in the distance, but it's there. But what's it in that? Like, what's it like growing up then, or living right between Edmonton and Calgary as a hockey fan?
Well, funnily enough, like Ozone's from Prince Edward Island. I'm from Saskatchewan. I don't even know if you've ever heard of that place.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, no, I mean, I know it. I'm a huge hockey fan. I have been for years, so I know. I actually. Oh, here we go. Riley chiming in. Or
Quebec Nordiques. Oh,
no,
what's up, Luke?
the Nordiques. Wow.
They haven't been around in a while. I hope they get their team
For a
back.
few more, if they would have stuck around for a few more years for moving to Colorado, they would have had cuts. Changed right around.
At this point, probably just move Arizona, I would think.
No, they're playing in like 2,000 person arena or whatever. Like, good. Saskatchewan for life.
Saskatchewan for life.
Buddy.
Where? Okay, I know I've seen it. So, in comparison to where you guys are, where was Saskatchewan? I know you guys are
Saskatchewan is where I grew up is about 10 hours east of Red Deer, which is pretty much on the Manitoba border. Where the
So
Winnipeg
Saskatchewan was more to the east.
Yeah, it's one province over.
Okay.
And he's from like the East Coast, so he's closer to you than he was to me.
Okay. Like I said, this is going to be me asking a lot of Canada questions, probably more than anything.
And Riley was a bit of an army brat, but he spent his formative years in, where do you say, Oshawa? Butt fudge. Butt fudge. That's a good one.
Butt fudge.
So Riley's from Oshawa, which I guess I can excuse his Leaf fandom, but I don't know why I was on cheers.
Yeah, Buffalo is about a 4-hour drive. Toronto's just past that, right around that area, so 4.5 hours or so from me.
Okay.
Maybe. But yeah, Dennis. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, because the biggest Canadian town I'm close to would be Montreal. That's not, like I said, far over the border. Ottawa's not far. I haven't been to Ottawa or Toronto. I'd like to check out both.
Yeah, for sure. Fixed frequency. Sure.
But if you live in between Edmonton and Calgary, is the Battle of Alberta really as intense as the hockey announcers try to make it sound?
I'd say so. They definitely don't like each other.
I think it's a little better when both teams suck, because then they at least can get geared up. Last couple of years, so it kind of took it down a little bit. But they played in the playoffs last year, and it was the last kind of beat Calgary down pretty badly. So it wasn't much of the chirping kind of stopped. It used to be right in the middle though. Like if you go to like a bar and watch a game, it's basically almost half and half the fans.
Is it really? Wow.
And then being impartial to both teams, it's pretty great. Just enjoy.
I would say that from my Oiler fans, they almost seem to hate Vancouver more. It's weird.
Really?
I mean, they definitely don't like the Flames, but like all of my good buddy Oiler fans they can't stand the Canucks.
Interesting.
Because the Canucks are pretty good there a couple years, like maybe 10 years ago. So they invade their barns, and kick the shit.
Okay.
So like, screw you guys, get out of my province.
How far? Well, Vancouver's not doing as great this year, I think. But how far is it to Vancouver from where you are?
Well, we've played there and we drove there. And how long did it take us? Like 10 hours?
10 hours. Yeah.
Oh wow, still a 10-hour drive.
Yeah, so I can drive 10 hours to the west and get to Vancouver, or go visit my parents 10 hours to Saskatchewan. So. Sorry, Mom. Oh, we love it in Vancouver.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. I know all the big town cities, of course, and I'd love to check them all out at some point. But what's the music scene like then where you guys are? Again, I don't know. I know some Canadian bands, of course, ones that probably more popular ones that have just kind of made it over the border in popularity. But what's like the local scene and punk scene and stuff like that in Western Canada?
Who wants to take this one?
It's pretty good. There's bigger bands like Belvedere and stuff that are pretty internationally well known for skate punk. But yeah, in Red Deer, I think the punk scene's a little not. I mean, the hardcore scene is really good, and then they're still doing it, but not too many. So it's but I mean we've had a good everyone just getting out post COVID or what, but we've had some pretty good shows. So hopefully it's a sign of thing that comes.
Nice.
Yeah, I think skate punk as a whole, because like you say, you found Thousand Islands Records and you're stoked to hear that kind of music. But I think the general population, it's not the biggest style of music like it was in the 90s. So there's a ton of amazingly passionate fans. Are all of them in Red Deer? Probably not. we still do okay though. It's definitely more of a metal town. But then you go Calgary, Edmonton. There's definitely some really good bands that we're friends with, and then there's the heavy hitters like Belvedere, and of course, what I would argue one of the biggest punk bands out of Canada ever was SNFU from Edmonton. I mean, obviously, R.I.P. Chai Pig, but I mean, maybe even heard of them in New York. I don't know.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
Oh, really? Yeah, they were on Epitaph. Like, they were probably one of our biggest.
Were they really?
SNFU. They're
oh wait, no. Okay, I take that back. No, now I know I've seen that name.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've heard them.
Like the original like Punkaramas and shit. Like they were on there.
Yep, punk. You know what? It's one of those albums that got me into the skate punk and punk rock sound. Really.
Me too, man.
Like, well, one of my first albums, physical CDs, was Dookie, and then in middle school, I got Dude Ranch from Blink-182 from one of my buddies, but my brother had a Punkorama CD, and I'm so glad you said that because it was killing me for the last few days. I'm like, I can't remember the compilation that really introduced me to like Lagwagon, NoFX, Bad Religion, Pennywise, all these bands I got into, and then just kind of no use for a name, and then just went exploring.
There's Punkorama, which was Epitaph, and there was like the Fat Records ones, which is where you would have heard all the Lagwagon-ish bands, but the Epitaph would have been Rancid, Bad Religion, Pennywise.
Yeah.
There's two of them that kind of came out and they changed a lot of people's lives for sure.
Yeah, because that's kind of what opened my musical mind, so to speak,
Me too, man.
before I went exploring for punk bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there wasn't just fucking Spotify or whatever back then. You had
the old compilation albums. Jeez. How'd you guys end up getting hooked up with Thousand Islands Records?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of this the other day. So I think it was 2016-ish, because Bruno and Cynthia, the head honchos of that label, also run a blog called Punk Normal Activity. And I just had randomly seen a call out being like, hey, looking for writers. And at the time I was working away from home and I had some spare time in the evening. So I'm like, I'll start writing for these guys. Seems easy enough to write punk rock reviews. So that's how I reached out to Bruno. And so we became friends that way. And then I noticed that he had this label. And at the time it was kind of only Quebec bands, like Quebecois bands, not necessarily French speaking. There's definitely some French speaking stuff on there, but just pretty much his buddies, right? Because I think he started it. If you know the band, they're called Down Memory Lane. Those guys are the guys that started it, and then they got Bruno on board.
Okay, yeah, I gave them a spin, a couple spins, but I've been meaning to go back to them.
Yeah, great band. And Spotify thinks they're my favorite band because they play their songs.
they showed up on my festival list there that I posted.
Oh, there you go.
Because I listened to them recently.
Yeah, for me, it's just whenever like an album runs out, all of a sudden one of their songs will come on every time. It's like, okay, like I like you guys. But yeah, so then at the time we recorded a new album and we're kind of looking for ways to put it out. And I asked Bruno, and he's like, well, I wasn't really looking to sign any other bands, but I'll check it out. And he's like, oh yeah, I like this. We'll help you out. And then so we kind of got in there at ground zero, right? And then I don't even know if Ozone started off in guitar in this band and he left for a while and he came back on drums. And then I made him switch to bass because he's a pal, he can play anything. So I'm like, you know what? We got a good drummer, Riley. How about you just go on bass? And he's like, yeah, sure. Never played bass in a band before, but give it a go. seems to like it. He hasn't quit yet. So
Fun.
yeah. Anyways, so just by being friends with them and getting in right away, then they're just like, yeah, well, they're very loyal people there. So they're like, yep, you guys are on for life unless you don't want to be. So we don't see why we would leave.
Nice. I did order a couple T-shirts because I needed a couple T-shirts. So hopefully they should be coming soon.
Nice.
But by the way, I forgot to shout out for happy hour. I am drinking. I like to promote when I do these streams the local breweries. So I'm drinking Canopy Double IPA from the Warbler Brewery in
Warbler.
Del Mar. Yep, Warbler after the bird. From in Del Mar, New York, and I did a podcast with the owner and brewer Chris Shell, episode 44. So anyone interested in hearing more about Warbler and their delicious brews, feel free to go check that out.
Hell yeah, Warbler.
The
I'm
Warbler.
drinking Man Crush Mandarin Ale from Sea Change Brewing. Check them out.
Nice. Yeah,
Those
I don't know how many at the beverage centers. I'm not sure how many Canadian craft brews we get in. I should check. Now that I'm curious, it's not something that's dawned on me before.
I think there's like even up in Canada, like provincially and stuff, like it's tricky. I think the big boys don't want us to be able to intermingle too much, like the Budweisers or whatever. What's the company? Anheuser Busch or whatever.
And yeah,
up here it's the Molsons and the
the Molson. That's right.
I don't think they want us to. I don't think they want craft beer to succeed.
I think Anheuser Busch has bought up a bunch of what were craft beer places at one time, and
yeah, left
the names, and it just kind of taken over ownership.
They've done that out here. I can't blame the craft breweries for taking that payout.
I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to say no if it would set me up for the rest of my life.
I don't either, man. I don't have to work my ass off and barely make rent.
Ozone, I see some bikes behind you. Are you a big biker?
I am. Yep. Now they're hanging on the wall until the spring, but yeah, they're
nice. What are season wise? How I'm curious. Like, how long is your winter? Like, when is spring for you guys? Like, what's good bike riding weather? Like, when is it warm enough to go? I guess. Again.
No, I don't know. It was a really early winter. There's like 2 feet of snow. Feels like a month ago now.
Oh Jesus!
It won't go away. And now it's 20, 30 below every day, so it's not even melting.
Oh God!
I started to go just to get outside. It's even too cold for that, so no hope.
Wow. Yeah, we got maybe an inch of snow so far this year. In at least where I am in New York, Buffalo, right off the lake, got parts of it got like 6 feet. I'm like, holy shit!
Didn't the football team have to like play their home game?
They had to go to Detroit and play because the stadium was just all snow.
Are they good this year? Or are they shitting the bed?
No, the Bills are doing good. I don't watch a lot of NFL anymore, especially if I'm not betting on it.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been all wrapped up in the World Cup for the last 2.5 weeks now or so.
Canada made it, but I don't think they did too well.
Sadly, no.
And they were good. They could have easily upset whoever they were playing.
But no, like
then
they look like they have solid games in like all the North American CONCACAF stuff. They're one of the top North American teams. But and they looked good in the first half of both of their first 2 games, and then just fell apart in the second half.
So they're like the Leafs if they were.
Wow.
No, I don't think anybody. I'm not a soccer fan, so I don't really. I mean, it would have been nice to see him. I did get into it when the women's team's really good, so I watched Olympics and stuff. And actually, we lost you guys in the finals one year, and it was a very questionable call.
Yeah, the American women's soccer team is even more celebrated. Well, the men's team gets more attention, of course, just because of that's the way Sadly, that's just the way things are. But the women's teams has accomplished so much more in their tenure. Like they got to be ranked number 1, if not within the top 2 or 3 for women's soccer. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a long day. I got to get up early. The U.S. is playing the Netherlands, and I got to start drinking. Tomorrow's a beer with breakfast kind of day.
Actually, I heard even in Canada here, like they were opening up the bars like whenever the games are on, so you could like go to a bar at like 3 a.m. and.
Oh, that's drink. Right. Yeah, you guys are 2 hours behind me. This is the first time I had to plan for a time difference for with people I was going to talk to.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. on the dot right now here in sunny Red Deer.
Yep, 9 o'clock right here.
Oh, there's my auntie. Hey, Auntie Lee.
Hello.
I did connect this to some of our stuff, so I don't know.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, this streams straight to my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, which is awesome.
Well, it gave me the option of connecting, so I put it on on the trash page and then our Twitter. I tried to do YouTube, but I guess it didn't have it set up, so it said didn't have permission. But everything else, so hey, if anyone's watching, hi. She lives in. Oh no, she's in Nevada now, but she was in Salt Lake City for years.
Oh, really?
But she's Canadian. She'd be cheering for Canada, not America. Screw you guys.
I think the U.S. has a chance to get by the Netherlands. They've been. I'm a soccer fan, so I can't keep track of the international teams. Netherlands has been down for the last 8 years. So I think the U.S. has a chance to get by them. After that, I think that will be the end of it. When the U.S. gets knocked out, though, I'll be rooting for Argentina, just because I want to see Lionel Messi get a cup.
But they're the favorites at it?
No, Brazil's still the favorites. But it'll be interesting. I might have a couple. I might have a sick day or 2 from work coming up. So I don't know.
Wouldn't blame you.
That was 2014, 2013, 2014, maybe even 2012. I was living up my first real taste of soccer fandom, and I got into that quite a bit. The Euros, and so they're.
Oh yeah. The Euros are interesting too.
Yeah, I remember there was a game that went versus Sweden, I think, and it was super entertaining. I'm like, oh, maybe I get this. Then I moved back to Canada, and we're just so bad at that.
I don't. It's. I feel like with soccer, like people that are like borderline have interests like that. It's more if you have the right experience watching it. Like you have 2 powerhouses, and you're in a bar or a soccer centric fandom zone, then you get really fucking into it. Like there's a bar, Wolf's Beer Garden, that I live 10 minutes from. They're big soccer bar. Like they open for the early matches and stuff like that, like Premier League, all the Spanish league, the French league, stuff like that. So they're doing pancakes, brunch and stuff with breakfast beers. Like that's the place to hang out if you're going to watch these games. Crowd out the door, and that's a fun experience.
Yeah, for sure.
But future, we should probably talk about your album.
I've been talking about World Cup this whole time.
I could keep going. But Future Considerations is the new album. I know, like I said, I've jumped on the Trash Ambulance bandwagon. You can tell beer number 5 is starting to kick in. So I apologize. This was 8%, by the way, and it's the second of these that I've mixed in. So
Come on, buddy. Keep
That'll
going.
do it.
happy hour, man. Happy hour.
Fine when
And I can't believe I haven't asked this sooner, but where in the world did the name Trashed Ambulance come from?
People keep asking. There's not a good story, but what should I say tonight? What I like to tell people is it's my favorite Lagwagon album mixed with my favorite emergency response vehicle.
I like that.
No, I just think Trashed Ambulance is like it sounds cool.
I mean,
hear it all the time. Either people think
it's
it's the dumbest name they've ever heard, or they're like, "That's a fucking badass name. Maybe we should be a metal band." But
no, everyone. You know what's funny? I was talking to someone like every band name's a dumb name until it gets established or people like the band. That's
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm like, that is so fucking true.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is.
We like making fun of ourselves too, because one time we were trying to book a venue, and we needed. So we told the server that came up and was serving us. We're like, hey, could you go grab the manager or the owner and just tell her it's the guys from Trashed Ambulance. And she comes over. She's like, you guys are from Crash Nebula? Like, no, but that's maybe a better name than what we.
That's a good one.
Crash Nebula. So keep an ear out for that. We might use it.
Crash Nebula. If not an album name at some point in the future.
I think it's
you just remind. So me and two buddies went to a Warped Tour. It may have been somewhere. Maybe it was Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play. We went to a Warped Tour there, and we were telling people we were a 3-piece band named Atom America, ATOM, and they're like, "Really?" Like, sure. We just made it up. We were drunk, so what do we care? We're not. It's not like we're scheduled to play.
That's amazing. Maybe you'll get a gig though. Get enough buzz about yourself.
Yeah, there we go. Start spreading the word.
I had a friend that did that before. He just always got drunk and told girls that he was in this band, and then he like eventually just started the band. He's like, "Well, I got to do it now."
Like too many people already know about it. It's
this underground buzz. Like they're so underground that no one's even seen them play.
There you go. But no, the name. I mean, the name jumped out at me at first thing right away. I'm like, Trashed Ambulance. Like that's an odd name. So it's one of the reasons I put it on. I'm like, I got to hear this. And then, like I said, I was sucked right in.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we're pretty stoked on the new album.
Yeah. Plus the cover art. That was, of course, another thing that jumped out at me.
Shout out to Sam Lucas. Sam Lucas art. Holy crap.
Because how did the idea come up for that? I'm looking at this. I'm like, there's so much going on here.
So you're a hockey fan, so actually he's from New York, isn't he? Brian Burke. You know him? He was
no.
GM. Anyway, so his thing, he has like slick back gray hair. So if you look at us, like Jason and I, we have the slick back gray hair like Brian Burke. So we're like,
okay.
And the EP we had done, I don't know if it's the one right before this, or it was kind of a hockey themed, because it was called Shorthanded because our drummer moved away, so we had to bring Ozone in on drums the last minute to record the album. So we kind of kept the hockey theme going, the future consideration. So the thing is like Riley's the rookie joining the thing, isn't me? So Ozone and I are giving him the jersey, right? So that's why we have the slick back Brian Burke hair.
And the state of the world is, I think, speaks for itself.
Yeah, we got to give all the credit to Sam for throwing all that babies riding warheads and shit. We definitely didn't tell him to do that, so that was all his. We gave him a pretty long leash.
Nice, yeah. Because between that and the name, I'm like, I got to hear what I got to hear what this is. But I mean, like when I come across bands I've never heard of at the time, it takes something like that to jump out at me. I'm like, okay, I got to hear what this is.
Well, sweet.
Like one of the reasons I listened to Charlie Bit My Finger, I'm like, what the fuck is this name, this band name? And then I went down that rabbit hole. I'm like, these guys are awesome.
So we did a split with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when we went out to Montreal and stuff a couple of years ago, we did like a run of shows with them. Partied pretty hard with those guys, and they're hilarious dudes. We got a kick out of them, and we both kind of latched on to it, a song of each band, and they picked our song Metronome, and we picked their song Cowabunga. We're like always singing at each other's faces when we're drunk and stuff, and then let's do a split. And I'm not gonna talk about that split because it's kind of a cursed project, but it's out there.
It's out there. They're from Belgium, right? I think.
Yeah. Don't ask me what city, but
yeah, no idea.
But the country with the naked little boy statues peeing everywhere. I've been to Belgium and it's everywhere.
I'm gonna remember that now.
Yeah, it's like a little boy, and it's a fountain, and the fucking water comes out of his knee. Why is that your guys' thing? Look it up. I didn't make it up.
So, I mean, wow.
I love Bill.
Yes.
Jean-Claude
but-
Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Oh, I just watched not long ago, maybe just a couple months, within the last few months, Bloodsport again with him.
Good movie.
Oh, this is
I made Ozone watch that when we were hungover because he never grew up with it. I don't know if he was as impressed as I was as a 9-year-old watching it for the first time. It's like, oh yeah, this is a movie.
Because that GIF or GIF, however you want to say it, of him just dancing with his ridiculous tank top and like loose khaki
You know what?
pants.
That's actually from Kickboxer.
That is from Kickboxer. Maybe that's what I watched. I don't remember.
Bloodsport's way better than Kickboxer.
Where which was so I'm a little drunk. So Bloodsport's the one where he fights like the large Asian guy, right, at the hidden tournament.
Only you
right
are next. Yeah.
Okay, so it was Bloodsport I watched. But I mean, to be fair, his movies kind of blend together.
Bergs is working, Gavin.
So yeah, they really do.
Bloodsport's the best. And that one he did with Dennis Rodman's pretty good.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Oh man,
I saw it when I was a kid. I don't remember it at all.
I forgot Dennis Rodman was a person. That's why I was like, oh God.
He's out in North Korea most of the time, apparently.
Yeah, he's busy with national relations there and stuff.
Whatever the fuck it is.
So I know from at least seeing a couple headlines, I know there's been like a few lineup changes. You've touched on Ozone playing pretty much every instrument at some point. So what was the writing process like for this new record for you guys when you went into write and record?
So we hired Chad Kruger from Nickelback.
Of course, as any Canadian would.
On the road in Hannah, Alberta. No. Well, we both kind of have little home studio, like Ozone and I, like setups. So what we do, we just come out with riffages, send it to each other, and if it doesn't suck, we take it to the jam space. We rent a place downtown here in Red Deer, so it's like a standing date every Tuesday. We get together and work on shit. And
oh, nice.
so like in the past, I've just like written songs, and that happened a little bit where we kind of just had the songs, but we kind of wanted it to be more collaborative this time, so we brought riffs back, we jammed them out, added cool shit, and then yeah, like Ozone wrote 2 of the songs pretty much 100% on the last album, and then a lot of them we kind of definitely we all had our fingerprints on them. I mean, I'm not a drummer either, and Ozone and Riley are both really good drummers, so I'm not gonna bother trying to write drums. Like they just be like, get this crap out of here. Like we'll take it from here. So what's the point of me trying to write a whole song when I don't know, just let them add their parts and make it cooler. So that's my take from it. Ozone, do you feel different about that?
No, it's really, yeah. So it's normally, yeah, it almost always starts with Josh sending a guitar idea, fool around with it on bass enough that when we get to Tuesday to jam, we can show it to Riley and be like, he'll add his stuff, and then normally after we do a couple nights of that, we'll just all his new drum parts, and then I'll come and just program them into computer drums and have a demo for a couple of weeks, and we'll just keep changing it until it is whatever. So future considerations, we did an all-night jam. So I mean, Josh and I have to spend too much time, so we're like, oh, let's just do it all night. So we started at like went till 4 a.m. and just hashed out every tiny small detail, every little pause. Then made video recordings of all those, and then demoed them, and then every day going up to the studio. And then the producer on that album, Casey Lewis from Belvedere, we basically anything that sucks, tell us right away. We won't be offended because we played these so much, we could be missing obvious. So just whatever you want to add, go ahead, blank canvas. So it was it was
Yes. So
He
basically,
he
we
may have
rewrote
added
the
a
album.
couple vocal harmonies or two.
Yeah, we got to his studio and he's like, "Throw this in the garbage. We're starting over."
Here's 12 songs
Not
that I
how.
wrote. Here we go.
I mean, it's hard for me to pick any favorite track on this because I get parts of all the songs just stuck in my head at random from listening
Awesome.
to it. But I like and I just my brain bounces back and forth between those. I'm like I got to go and listen to this song again now. But I think some of the highlights for me at least were Gumshoes, which I really liked. Filtered was awesome. Tyrants. 56 I've already mentioned a couple times, just like right off the bat. Like I said, that one sucked me in. And then a Blip on the Radar, which I realized I just listened half the album almost.
That's good though.
So, like, when you're writing these, do you have particular favorites from this writing from this album?
I think we kind of all like get sick of the songs, hate them,
Okay.
and then be like, take a break and then come back. Hey, you know what? But there's also songs that we love on the album. Like, for instance, there's a song called Melting Pot that Ozone and Riley always try to get me to play. Hey, Will. Woo! Thanks, buddy. And I love it on the album, but I just hate playing it. Like, I hate it with
Really?
passion. They're always trying to like, come on, let's do this one. I'm like, oh, I don't know why. Like, I can never get into the pocket when we play it. Like, I just feel like it's a battle, and it's like this isn't fun. Like, let's play songs that are fun. And there's songs too that I enjoy playing that they don't like playing, so we just don't do it. But I'll say my top 5 because I just had to do this for another publication is I mean, I love Blip on the Radar. I think that was a good choice for the single. So shout out to Riley because we forced him at gunpoint to write the words for that.
Speaking of Riley,
Melting pot rules. Look at his picture too. He's eating a fucking lemon meringue pie.
is that
Holy
what that
fuck.
is?
And like you're fucking just watching this whole thing. Why aren't you on this call? I'm working. Yeah, you're fucking eating a lemon meringue pie is what you're doing. So I'll say my top 5 is personally is Blip on the Radar. I like Tyrants a lot. I like the last song on the album, Next Door to Nothing.
Yep.
Oh shit, I like Bottleneck, and then I would say I like Ekna Lubma.
I was going to ask you how to pronounce that.
It's ambulance backwards.
Okay. I did not catch that. Son of a bitch. Ozone, do you have any particular favorites on the album? Other than Melting Pot?
Yeah, I do love Melting Pot. I think it's fun to play, so I don't know. I really think it's Bottleneck. I think that's my favorite to play. And
Riley's making coffee.
Making coffee.
got one of his headphones in. I mean, my favorite going into it is probably Blip on the Radar. Now I got burnt out in that pretty quick, just because I think I listened to it too. It's coming back to me. Yeah, 56 I think is 56 is always good because it was kind of the first one we started working on together with this lineup. So like we ever actually played together was Stock in the Park, the working time. But Riley actually was going to play it double time, and then the love story ballad. But yeah, 56 I thought it was just the first one. I think it was the first song we really played in our new jam place too, so it's just kind of I don't know, song I think so. I do really like Menace too. I think it's different. It's cool.
Nice. One thing I noticed as I was listening to the album, something that always jumps out at me when I'm looking at a track listing is track length. Like a lot of skate punk songs, anything in this genre, songs are usually from, You know, they could be from less than 2 minutes to 3 minutes tops. And then, so anything over 3 minutes just catches my eye. And Next Door to Nothing, the last song on the album is 5.5 minutes. So I'd listen, like I scrutinize the long songs more when I hear those. I'm like, why? Like, what was the choice here? And I'm always curious. So how did that length like come together naturally? Like you're writing this song and you're like, you just keep working on it and it just ends up being that long? Or do you make a conscious decision when this song is going to be longer?
Oh, I don't know if you saw that Hard Times article that was like last song on Punk album, 5 minutes long.
No, I missed that one.
I'll send it to you. It's fucking funny, but anyways,
It's great, by the way. I like it.
100%. Like, I don't know, like obviously we weren't going decline style like 17 minutes, but like one of my favorite bands is the Flatliners, and they always, a lot of times they'd end their albums with kind of like an epically long song. So I kind of always wanted to do that. So yeah, that was like a true collab, because I had kind of half a song and Ozone had some ideas, then I had some other ideas from like old songs from way back. We kind of pieced it together, and against all odds, somehow it worked out. You know, I don't know if it's everyone's favorite song, but I really like it. I think
I like it. I think it sounds great.
And the thing is, we didn't want to just do a song that's long and just, you know, because it's verse, chorus. Like we tried to make it just like a shit ton of riffs piled onto each other with telling a story, and I think we succeeded. I don't know. I feel good about it.
Yeah, like I think like the intro started once again pretty early on in the process, just for a beat to that similar. I don't know if it was the same one. And I just started messing around on the bass, and then when we were trying to just work on the half song demo Josh had, like, what if we go back to that the jam room, that kind of AFI sounding, and then it just naturally kind of made a good intro into what Josh was working on separately. So that's
nice. I'm always down for a good AFI reference. So
I think that's what he's going for.
But yeah.
So I mean, what got you guys into music to begin with? Like, I talked about my brother got me into with the compilation CDs and stuff. That's how I got into like the skate punk sound. I don't play. I have an acoustic guitar that I pick up every once in a while, but other than that, I don't really play. I actually want to get a bass. My goal is to master the bass now, just out of nowhere. But so like, what got you guys into music to begin with?
For me, I mean, my grandpa used to play guitar. Well, he did until he got too old to do it. But I just remember being a kid and, you know, growing up in Canada, playing hockey and stuff. It's like the 2 Unlimited books. Y'all ready for this? Is like what I thought music was. And then as I got older, I like figured out about rock, and my dad had all his records and his tapes and shit. So I listened to the Beach Boys and Men at Work and stuff. And then, I think, in the 90s, I had an older brother he's 6 years older than me. So he kind of got into like, you know, the Rancid, Punkorama, all that stuff. 4 strings, no problem. And so that's how I got into punk, is just my older brother being like, check out these albums. And that was, then other friends, you know, showed me like Offspring and all that style stuff. So then once you kind of go down that road, it's hard to shake it off, because it's like
it is, man. That's exactly what happened to me, and I just kind of kept going.
Music is definitely, as far as music that I enjoy playing, like that's, like, I don't mind strumming the acoustic guitar and stuff, but if I'm gonna go out of my way to play on the stage, like punk's just the most fun for me by far from any other style I've tried to do. So that's, I guess, my story is just older brother taught me to be a bad boy and listen to punk rock and rebel against authority. And here I am, 36 years old, still haven't grown up.
I mean, is there a lot of authority to rebel against in Canada?
Everybody's nice, you know. Like...
Ozone, how about you?
I'll be right
My
back. I've heard this
Really
story
good.
before.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, he knows. I'll let him tell.
He's like, F this
my
guy.
dad yeah, enough of that. Yeah, my dad was really kind of, we're just always playing. So I'm always like, I want to do something. So I think my grandma bought me a drum set. So then I just played every day. And then when I was a band and one of my really good friends, he's like, well, I can play drums. I'm like, oh, shoot, so can I. I can't have two drums if I don't learn how to play guitar. And then, yeah, I was just in bands. And then into punk, I had a song from the Penalty Box Volume 3 from Tooth and Nail Records, the Christian punk label. And it was like MXPX and Slick Shoes.
Oh,
and,
fucking MXPX, man. Yeah, they were. Oh, look at this. By the way, we have a hi from Manchester, England. Hello,
Hey,
John Bill Clinton Smith.
Bill Clinton.
All right.
This is Chloe.
Chloe. Hi.
I've got a frying pan.
Adorable.
Have you had it?
Ozone?
Can you say hola?
I say, oh,
Can you say ozone?
Oh, wow.
She can do it.
See, I get Ozzy a lot just because my last name's Osborne. So that's easier.
Can you say Aussie, Cole?
Ozzy?
Aussie.
I'll take it.
All right, you got to take your frying pans and get out of here. This is serious adult business. Okay. I'll be right back.
No. Oh, yeah. MXPX. Yeah, they were one of the first punk bands I've jumped on and have been a fan ever since.
like there wasn't many punk bands that came out to where I lived, way on the East Coast, and then they ended up playing Halifax, Tat, and Only Crime, which is Russ Rankin's other band. So they were one of the first, which is awesome.
Nice. I lost track of stuff. You guys playing any more shows the rest of the year?
We are
I think I just saw a post about something.
December 16th at the VAT. It's our vinyl release. Did you tell them about the vinyl while I was?
Ooh, a vinyl. I love
I
vinyl.
did not. Well,
should
someone loved
Tell them
our
the
art
story.
so much. We've been waiting for vinyl, and apparently someone broke into the pressing plant. I don't know, 6
All right.
random boxes or something.
That seems about right.
Old Bill. And yeah,
Classic John Bill.
John Bill Clinton Smith.
Yep, classic. So what's going on with this vinyl? You guys have your vinyl coming out, or is it out?
So this is funny. We've been waiting a while. I don't know if you've heard. There's a bit of a.
There's pretty much only one plant left on the planet that makes vinyl. Yeah.
Well, there's plants, but I think that what the shortage is the lacquer or whatever.
Oh,
Anyways,
okay.
that's not important. Either way, Adele and Taylor Swift swooped in there and made a million copies of their albums and pushed all
Yep.
of us little shitheads down the line like months and months. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Ours is ready to go. We saw images. It's getting ready to go. But somebody broke into the pressing plant in Edmonton, Alberta, and stole 4 of the 5 boxes of like the jackets that
Oh man.
vinyl will slide into. Like, I don't know if we didn't hear what else they stole, but like if that's all they got out of there with, like, what a shitty haul. Like, not even the vinyl's not even in there. It's just the jacket.
Wow.
I mean, the art is good, but it's not that good.
So I did say 4 out of 5. So that means we ordered 300. So I think we're getting 80 that we'll have for our show next weekend. Or on the 16th. But like, what the fuck? Well, there it
Nice.
is.
Yeah.
Sneak
Like,
peek. I haven't shared that
First
anyway.
Nice
one.
toxic green color. There we go. Stories from a bar exclusive. I like it.
We did lime green
That was
and
done today, so it is on the way.
Here we go.
yeah, what a terrible haul.
Yeah, I know.
Brings
Really.
it back to the boss. Hey, boss, I got that haul for you. Broken that store. I got 700 trashed ambulance jackets.
Oh,
No
man.
record. The Cord Lunder's right there. What are you doing?
Jeez. That I got to imagine if you. I mean, I've never broken into a place to steal stuff, but I got to imagine. I can't imagine the feeling when you get home, look at what you took, and you're like, "Fuck, this wasn't worth it."
Unless they're massive trash ambulance fans. You'd even still, you'd be like, "Where's the fucking record?"
I seems like you would want the record.
Just empty jackets, no fucking record.
No. We're coming close towards the end of happy hour, about 5 minutes left. But I thought it'd be fun to close up on what are you guys listening to currently? What do you got spinning in your MP3 players? Not that MP3 players spin or however you listen to music, but still.
For me, this band out of Vancouver called Rest Easy, members of Dagermouth just released an album. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but I would definitely recommend checking their shit out.
Nice.
So that album has been on repeat for me. Ozone, probably fucking some stupid shit.
I haven't really hammered on an album lately, but it's been kind of like I started listening to like all the old Gob records, but like How Far Shall I'm like, you know what, like I've always liked Gob, but I haven't really listened to them that much, so I've been nothing too new, but yeah, lots of Machine Gun Kelly and Sway loves.
Nice.
Did you guys listen to Gob in New York?
I'm familiar. I mean, I know of them.
Hey, buddy.
But hey, buddy. I don't think I'm sure I actually listened to them at one point. I just don't remember. Like I know of them.
One of the guys from Gob is now a member of Sum 41.
Is he really?
So he's been busy with that. That's why Theo from Gob made that band, Theo and the Thugs, so he could stay busy while that other guy was on tour with Sum 41. I believe that's the story. If it's not, don't get mad at me.
Yeah, I knew. God, Gob's been around for a while, right? They're
like, fuck, they got some good albums back in the day for sure.
Yeah, they were. Again, there's so many. I mean, so many bands and stuff that I know of, but I haven't listened to. Just like anybody that gets into any kind of scene. But who's this?
I did try to listen to the new, and I could not get too far.
The new what?
I gave it a NoFX release single.
Oh, the double album.
There's some quite songs they already like. I don't know. I tried really hard to like, and just couldn't.
Yeah, I haven't listened to a NoFX, a newer NoFX album. I don't know what I think. Pump Up the Volume was the last one I was really into. That was a while ago.
That was a solid one to end on.
Oh wait, no, whatever. Maybe there was the one that came after that, but I didn't get too far past that.
Coaster, I loved Coaster. Maybe it's just the time of my life I was unemployed and I just cranked it and drunk and high all the time and just loving life. Hating life, but either way, it was the soundtrack to that particular era of my life.
But was it? No, I already touched on some I was listening to, other than outside of course, Future Considerations.
We can use the royalties.
Yes. The Charlie Bit My Finger album, like I said, that one caught me off guard when I first listened to it. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm into this. Particularly their song "Winning the Game." I think that's my favorite song on that album, the new one. But Magnolia Park, I don't know if you're familiar with them. Pop punk band from Florida. They just put out an album. I was listening to them. And actually, before I hopped on here, I was going through some Jimmy Eat World, which is one of my favorite bands just in general.
Oh, nice.
But and also some 90s alt rock, which I just occasionally put on every once in a while because those are my jams. The War on Errorism really was good, man.
Yeah.
How old are you, man? Are you late 30s, 40s?
I am 39.
Okay, you're just a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
So we grew up in the same era for sure.
Yep. Yeah. So I hopped on. What was the I think no. So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes may have been my first No Effects album. But I hopped on the Offspring at Smash. I kind of got into the pop punk scene when those bands were really laying down their iconic type albums. Like the Lagwagon was double platinum. That was my first Lagwagon album.
You know what's funny about that album is when we were kids. I remember that website Interpunk, or maybe
Yeah.
I think even before Interpunk, there was one called Goatees. We were from rural Saskatchewan, so we had to order shit either from like. Remember, they used to get those like booklets and see in compilations and stuff, and you could order from them. You have to like mail it out with a money order, and they send shit back. So that's how we used to get merch and stuff back then. But my one buddy, it must have been a Fat Records when he ordered LP, and he thought it meant lower priced album. He's like, I thought it was lower price. So that was back when like nobody had like this is in the 90s, early 2000s. So like, he had no way to play it. So he's like, somewhere along the line, I think he like sold it to my little brother for like $5. Lower priced album. He's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this lower priced album? Like I don't know what that means.
Well, they
So
I
that's-
have deluxe
wow.
albums, why not?
I don't remember this at all. Smash came in the mail with samples of Tide. That is
Tide, the fucking
the dishwasher detergent or the laundry detergent.
sick. That's good.
That'd be
Marketing.
awesome.
Punks are
I mean-
smelly.
Yeah, punks.
Man, it was just like a hope and a prayer when he used to do that. You just send it off the money order, and you're like, I hope I get something. And then like 2 months later, all of a sudden you get like your shirt in the mail or whatever. We used to do pretty big orders. It was pretty sweet.
Nice. So that's bringing us to the end of Happy Hour, fellas.
I had a great time.
This was fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out for this.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna run through some closeout stuff, and then we will wrap this up. Thanks to you guys, of course, for hanging out for Happy Hour. Thanks to anyone out there for checking this out. Anyone that threw in some comments, we appreciate that for sure. Any bands, musicians, local breweries interested in doing a virtual Happy Hour stream or podcast, feel free to reach out to me on any of the Stories from a Bar social media pages or storiesfab@gmail.com. If you'd like, we can set something up. Be sure to go check out Trash Ambulance. If you haven't done it already, which I'm sure you have by this point. It's been an hour and 2 minutes. So if you're not doing it already, I mean, what the fuck's wrong with you? I mean, I don't know what else to say. You can check them out on Spotify, follow their social media pages. Anything else you guys want to throw in?
Yeah, we're gonna have a portion of our vinyl. So if you have placed an order with Thousand Islands or Lockjaw across the pond, like it's the end is in sight. You're finally gonna get this shit. You know, you probably paid for it like 2 years ago, but it's coming. It exists. We've seen it on a cell phone, not in person, but we're there, guys. We're there. You're gonna get your vinyl.
I have bought 2 vinyls for albums that have come out, but the vinyls haven't come out yet. So I'm still waiting on those. I don't think one of those vinyls is shipping until January, and the album came out at least 2 months ago.
As long as everybody knows that when they click the pre-order, that it's gonna be a little bit. Because I feel bad. It's like, but I mean, you know what? You're a good person for buying vinyl from us. We all wish it would be here sooner, but it's
yes,
kind of
sadly that's just the way it is. But it's so cool when you get it.
yeah. And like I said, hot pink, lime green. Like we didn't go boring old black or vanilla flavored vinyl. We went funky, so
Nice.
it looks good.
Awesome. And finally, like, follow, and subscribe to any and all things Stories from a Bar if you're not doing that already as well, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you are. You can find the podcast on all major podcast platforms. I totally just went tongue-tied there. And to anybody else that watches this, cheers. Thank you, and enjoy whatever you're drinking or your day, evening, or morning. If no judgment. Cheers.
We do not judge.